Everyone, welcome back to Pachera Talks, and today's topic is describe access reviews. This falls under Microsoft Entra ID governance, and this is what we are going to discuss in this video. My name is Arun, and I'm solutions architect with Novin Tech, which is one of the best organization to work with. And let's get started. So, access review. This is our topic to discuss today. Let me show you where it is in Azure first. If you have missed the previous video, or just to remind, if we go to the Azure portal, we go to Entra ID, and in the Entra ID, we had identity governance. We have completed this topic where we need to describe what is identity governance or Entra ID governance. So under governance, we have this access review. In order to utilize this access review, we must have some licenses. So we cannot show you here, but I'll explain you the concept. That's the idea of these videos. Right. And along with this access review, if we go to privileged identity management, you see access reviews for roles. So we have access reviews in the Entra ID as well. Sorry, privileged identity management as well. Those were right here under PIM. Okay, and these are Azure resources because PIM could be utilized for both. And if you go under roles, we have the access review right here. So there are two ways we can create the access reviews. Now let's try to understand the concept, what it is. So as the name says, we are going to review the access. Access for who, or access for what? Why are we going to review? And how we are going to review. These are some few questions that we are going to answer in order to understand access review. So we have this gentleman here who just joined and got his what identity when he joined in one of the organizations. So he's a joiner. He got his digital identity, right, and start working. After a few months, he got to assign a different project, maybe new project, and after some time he also got promoted, maybe, right? We understood this life cycle of identity and access. uh, Maybe we could say another project and promotion. So it's a cycle. This guy is keep moving. Similarly, like any one of us who works in any organization, promotion and then maybe leave or something like that. So there are different steps that anyone goes through. So what happens during this period? There are certain resources. It could be application, it could be group, it could be SharePoint sites, it could be another application, it could be RBAC, some privileged roles. There are multiple resources. Uh, these could be like showing as a multiple resources. You can call it resources. These are the resources. Now, as this guy is growing, working, promoting, or rather, you could say, which stage is the move stage. And that's it. And during that time, what happened? At the first, this guy maybe has access to these resources only. When he got new project, this guy got access to this, or maybe this resources, right? When new project came, this guy got another access request because he has to perform some other job. So one more resources. Then this guy got promotion, so these resources, and maybe and left afterwards or retire or whatever. The point is, their access this guy or this gentleman is keep on getting as this guy growing in the organization, right? So somebody has to review these access, right? Somebody has to review these access, and that process of reviewing these access is called access reviews, right? So why we need to do the access review, we need to understand that because of the security risks, right? Security risk like data leak, accidentally break, right? Because this guy doesn't need access of these resources maybe later on, but he still has access. It will reduce the blast radius, right? So there are multiple reasons and very good reasons like security risk, insider threats, data leaks. I should write it down. Insider threats, data leaks, maybe compliance failure, right? And if we are following zero trust, then this should be least privilege, rather giving access to everything, right? So all because of all those things, we need to reduce the risk. What we need to do, we need to review these accesses. And if we review the access, there must be someone called a reviewer, right? Somebody has to review. All right. So these access would be reviewed by a reviewer. So let's take a pause. And if we have to define what is access review, we can define easily. Access review is a feature of Microsoft Entra ID, right? It falls under ID governance, right? Microsoft Entra ID governance. Okay. So access review is a feature of Microsoft Entra ID that helps organization regularly check and confirm whether users or guests still need the access they have to resources like application, groups, teams, SharePoint sites, are back privileged access, any kind of access, right? So in order to do that, what we need to do first, we need to create. What we need to create access review. We need to create access review. And how we will create access review, as I showed you, we need to come here under Azure portal, enter ID. We need to go to identity governance. Under identity governance, we have access reviews, as I showed you. Under access reviews, you need to click here, access review, and you need to create one. I cannot show you because we only need to describe as per this SC900. Moreover, I don't have license. Here it comes, create new access review. I'll show you the snippet if I can. Anyways, so you create access review. When you create the access review, you give the name of a reviewer because there is someone who needs to review. So here we created the access review. We gave the name of a reviewer, and this reviewer is doing what? This guy is doing review of access. This guy performing review, right? All good till now. Now, how this guy will know that I have to perform the review? There must be some kind of notifications, right? So when you create the access review, you design the notification. You design that this notification will go to these reviewers, and when this guy has to review, there must be some kind of frequency, like when, right? Like when we have to review. So there is frequencies as well that you can add in the access review. And as per frequency, these notifications will trigger like once in fortnight, in 30 days or 60 days. And this notification will come to the reviewer. Reviewer will review, and as reviewer review these access, it can perform certain actions. And what are these actions? These actions are, what could be these actions? These actions could be approved, deny, or a recommended action, something like that, right? So they can perform these actions. So who could be the review? Let's understand this. A reviewer could be a manager, reviewer could be an owner, or this is interesting, yourself as well, like the one who has the review. This guy could be a reviewer who can access whether I need these access anymore or not. Once the notification comes to this guy, this will check. I need this access. Yes, I don't need this access. No, no, no. So these will be removed. Once this perform the access, the recommended access will be implemented, or he himself can say, I don't need this access. So that's how the access review works, right? So to have this feature, we must have P2 license. This is something important. P2 license. Okay. And if we need to just uh, summarize, what is it? What is access review? A process to regularly check who has access to what. And why do we need it? To remove unnecessary access and improve security. How is it used? Well, we need to set up reviews where uh, reviewer will get the notification on time and it will remove or approve the access as needed. Which license is needed for the access review? P2 license is required. So what problem if not used access review? There would be access creep, security risk, compliance issue, and all those things could be the issue. And we just need to go to Microsoft Entra ID governance. You need to click on create access, select the resource where you have to apply, like groups, application, or roles, the access review you would like to apply. Give the name, frequency, date, reviewer, and you are good to go. Well, this is pretty more than enough what we're supposed to know under SC 900, because this is just describe the access review. We went little ahead and it is good. Well, I hope it was informative and you guys liked it. Thank you for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day. Bye bye.